On News Hour tonight, water shortage crisis hits Kaduna metropolis as KEDCO workers strike disrupts supply. Rimin Zakara residents demand justice after a fatal clash in Kano over land ownership. PDP Board of Trustees hold emergency meeting recognizing Ude Okoye as authentic National Secretary. On the foreign scene, mass burials in Goma as families demand peace amidst conflict. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. A severe water scarcity has hit Kaduna metropolis following a power outage caused by an industrial action embarked upon by aggrieved workers of the Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company, KEDCO. The situation is worsening with women and children wandering the streets with water containers in search of water for drinking and other domestic use. Trust TV's Bello Musa has details.
This is the situation in different locations across Kaduna metropolis where power disruption has led to water scarcity. This is due to the fact that personal boreholes replaced pipe-borne water supply in communities.
We were out to fetch water. Prior to this industrial action, we only had epileptic power supply.
Most people here are poor, yet every house has to contribute money for fuel to pump the water. The agreement is that after pumping the water, each house will fetch 2 buckets.
Yesterday, I had to buy 1 jerry can at the rate of 150 naira. We are in a very difficult situation. We formed the queue here around 2 a.m. and up till now, many households are yet to cook due to scarcity of water.
Many houses couldn't get water to perform ablution, and I couldn't even brush my teeth this morning. Some parents said the situation has disrupted their children's school attendance as they are unable to access water to prepare them for school. Our children struggle to go to school and they have to walk a kilometer just to fetch water. The situation is taking a toll on small businesses in the state, with many forced to remain idle. Work has become difficult and we can't afford fuel because it's too expensive. Getting enough food has become a problem. We rely on electricity to work, but we can't access it now. The power outage has severely impacted our work. We depend on electricity to operate, and using a generator doesn't allow us to maximize our profits. The industrial dispute between the National Union of Electricity Employees and KEDCO management has led to the dismissal of hundreds of workers, sparking the power outage and water scarcity. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
From Kaduna to Kano, where residents of Rimin Zakara in Ungongo local government area of Kano State are mourning the loss of several lives lost in a violent clash with security operatives over a land dispute. A forced eviction on Sunday night was met with resistance, leading to deadly clashes. Amidst grief and destruction, residents are demanding justice while questioning the legality in the government's attempt to restore ownership of the land to one of the parties in the dispute. Trust TV's Abdul Aziz Ibrahim visited the Rimin Zakara village and now reports.
The mother of 2 is now a widow. a 14-year-old boy grappling with the pain and trauma of a bullet wound, a father coming to terms with the reality of never seeing his son again. The people of Rimin Zakara in Ungogo local government area are mourning. The chaos of Sunday night and the actions of security forces reportedly led to the killing of 6 people. At the center of the conflict is a stretch of land which the state government asserts belongs to Bayero University, Kano. A long-standing dispute over the land fueled the recent attempts to evacuate its residents, an effort that met strong resistance. Eyewitnesses say the use of lethal force in an attempt to evict people from their homes led to the tragic loss of life. On Sunday night, when I returned at about 10 p.m., I saw some caterpillars on this road with armed civil defense personnel and plainclothes individuals. We approached them, but they attacked us and injured some of us. You can see the blood on my clothes. Then from a distance, I could hear gunshots. So when I arrived at the village, I was told that 6 people were shot. We were sitting outside our house when we were told to evacuate by a demolition team. So while we were moving away, we were shouting Allahu Akbar. Then suddenly, I felt a gunshot on my leg. Bilikisu Haliru Abdullahi and Kabiru Musa, both property owners in the area, say the eviction order came without warning. Those of us who reside here bought this land, and I completed my documents in a year. We didn't see any order from the government. If we did, we would have approached them long before now. I'm the only one staying in our provision shop. Many people here were surprised because we didn't know who sent them. As soon as they arrived, they gave us 10 minutes to evacuate our things. We were not able to finish evacuating before they started the demolition. Many strongly condemned the forced eviction, arguing that it occurred without genuine consultation, adequate prior notice, or provisions for compensation and alternative housing. Long before the university was established, our great-grandparents have been residing here. Suddenly, they want to remove us. The people here insist that such actions contradict Nigeria's and international legal obligations. However, the State Commissioner for Information, Ibrahim Waya, maintains that the operation was aimed at addressing illegal land occupation, insisting that the government had previously issued warnings to the residents. With the demolition already carried out, the people of Rimin Zakara say their loss goes beyond property. Hence, they are calling on the authorities for justice. Those of us who have been cheated, some of us have been cheated for life because we cannot get back those that have been killed. Neither can any compensation make up for the dead. But we, however, call on the authorities to investigate and give us justice. We are law-abiding citizens, and if they had dialogued with us, we are sure this calamity would not have befallen us. The tragedy in Rimin Zakara highlights the devastating cost of land disputes, with residents demanding accountability, justice, and a path forward. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
Still in Kano, the Kano state government has confiscated 82 tons of adulterated sesame worth more than 180 million naira in a decisive move to protect the integrity of Dawanau market, one of the largest grain hubs in West Africa. During a visit to the market, the Commissioner for Commerce, Investment and Industry, Shehu Sagagi, reaffirmed the Kano state government's commitment to tackling food adulteration and preserving Kano's reputation in global commodity trade. He further emphasized the critical role of Dawanau market in food security and international trade, warning that the Kano state government would not tolerate individuals compromising the quality of agricultural exports. Commissioner Sagagi also confirmed that the government had received reports of widespread adulteration and is collaborating with market associations and the Consumer Protection Agency to inspect, confiscate, and investigate affected goods. The chairman of the Dawanau Market Association, Mukhtar Isa, expressed gratitude to the government's swift action, pledging full cooperation in identifying and apprehending persons responsible for the adulteration. No fewer than 17 students of an Almajiri school have lost their lives in a fire outbreak that engulfed their school in Kawaran Namuda in Zamfara State. Sources told Zagazola Makama, a security expert, that the tragic incident, which occurred on the night of Tuesday, lasted for about 3 hours before it was brought under control. Several other students sustained injuries and are currently receiving medical attention. Eyewitnesses described the fire as devastating, noting that efforts to contain it were hampered by its intensity. Local authorities and emergency responders arrived at the scene to provide assistance, but the inferno had already caused severe casualties. In another fire on Tuesday gutted 2 petrol-laden tankers at a filling station along Numan Highway near the Yola International Airport. The road leading into Yola, the state capital, was blocked as curious residents of the area rushed out to catch or rather observe the inferno, ignoring the inherent danger. The 2 fuel tankers had been consumed by the fire as at press time, but men of the fire service were at the scene of the incident. Emergency responders were on ground to contain the fire but had run out of water. Security personnel were also at the scene to secure the area. To politics now, the Board of Trustees, BOT, of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has reinforced its stance over the Governors Forum recognizes former National Youth Leader Sunday Ude Okoye as the authentic National Secretary of the party. The resolution to recognize Ude Okoye was a fallout of an emergency meeting of the Board of Trustees led by Senator Adolphus Wabara, which received the findings of a committee it earlier set up under the chairmanship of former Minister for Special Duties Kabiru Turaki SAN to investigate leadership tussle. Though both the Federal High Court and Court of Appeal judgments were in favor of Ude Okoye, Senator Samuel Anyanwu has continued to lay claim to the position of National Secretary of the PDP, which resulted in clashes at the party's secretariat last week until the intervention of the Board of Trustees. Speaking to journalists after the emergency meeting held at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, the BOT, which deliberated on key issues affecting the party, said the decision is in line with its role as a key organ of the party as enshrined under Section 13, Subsection 1 and Subsection R of the PDP Constitution as amended in 2017.
The BOT, in exercise of its constitutional powers, received, exhaustively considered, and hereby adopt the report of its committee led by Barrister Kano Turaki SAN on the issue of the National Secretary of the PDP, especially with regard to the declarative judgment of the High Court of Congo as upheld by the Court of Appeal. Consequently, the BOT, by adopting the report, recognizes Honorable Sunday Ude Okoye as the substantive National Secretary of the PDP in full obedience to the declaratory judgment of the High Court of Enugu, as also upheld by the Court of Appeal, there being no contrary or overriding judgment from any court of superior jurisdiction.
Former Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai has backed Kano-based politician Najatu Mohammed in her claim that National Security Advisor NSA Nuhu Ribadu had once accused President Bola Tinubu of being one of the most corrupt politicians in the country. The former Kaduna State Governor stated that the NSA said the NSA is being economical with the truth for denying the statement. El-Rufai's remarks come amid legal standoff between Ribadu and Najatu Mohammed. El-Rufai insisted that Ribadu had in fact made the allegations while heading the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in 2006. El-Rufai says records of proceedings of the Senate sometime in 2006 and conclusions of the Federal Executive Council in the same year will back his claims. The former governor revealed that during a special Federal Executive Council meeting in 2006, Ribadu's EFCC had presented similar accusations against multiple government officials, including President Tinubu. President Bola Tinubu has revised the proposed 2025 federal budget, increasing it from 49.7 trillion naira to 54.2 trillion naira. The revised budget was presented during a plenary session while lawmakers were briefed on the new figures and the rationale behind the adjustment. The report.
The proposal, which had initially sparked discussions due to its considerable size, now reflects a substantial increase of 4.5 trillion naira. The President's action was detailed by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, who explained that the increase was driven by the need to address emerging national challenges and strengthen key sectors, particularly infrastructure, education, and healthcare.
Writing to inform you of the availability of additional revenue amounting to 4 trillion 530 billion 479 million 970,637 naira. To propose this allocation within the 2025 appropriation bill to enhance the budget's responsiveness to the nation's most pressing priorities and aspirations.
The revised budget will also include provisions for economic stimulus and initiatives aimed at boosting local industries and creating jobs.
That this allocation framework underscores the administration's dedication to fostering inclusive growth, addressing security challenges, and building resilience into Nigeria's economic fabrics. This investment will, one, promote stability by addressing critical infrastructure deficits, especially in underserved regions, and strengthening national security.
Lawmakers are expected to hold more sessions to debate and finalize the budget proposal before it's passed into law.
So if we have additional funds, there are places to apply it, and it will still be to the credit of the country. And if we are 2025, we project that we are going to get additional revenue, it is for us to look at the budget, apply it properly, and send back to the executive.
The budget adjustment is seen as part of President Tinubu's administration's efforts to tackle pressing economic and social issues while also working towards fiscal sustainability. In another development, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to launch an investigation into the unauthorized linking of Nigeria's national identification number NIN to telecom lines without their consent. The call came after an urgent motion was raised by House Majority Leader Julius Ihovere and Patrick Umo during Tuesday's plenary session. Presenting the motion, Umo condemned the unauthorized linking of NINs, describing it as a case of data and identity theft. In their contribution, lawmakers highlighted the significant risk faced by legitimate NIN holders, including wrongful criminal accusations, reputational harm, harassment, and legal complications.
The House is further aware that innocent citizens have been wrongly implicated in crimes. They suffer reputational damage, harassment, and legal challenges for crimes they know nothing about. This House resolves to urge the Nigerian Communications Commission to investigate these reports and take immediate actions against any telecom service provider found to be culpable in this practice.
Just last week, a social media spectator put it online and said that if you dial *996# initially I thought it was another idea of unnecessary incursion into my phone, and I took the risk. My dear Speaker, Ibrahim Isaka speaking before you. On my Airtel number, there are already 4 unsolicited NIN numbers linked to my phone.
The House thereafter directed the Nigerian Communications Commission to investigate the issue and take swift action against any telecom company found responsible for the unauthorized linkage. Additionally, lawmakers called on the National Identity Management Commission, NIM-SIM, to verify whether telecom operators were authorized to link NINs and whether the process adhered to the relevant laws and regulations. Away from that, the House moved a motion of urgent public importance and the need to address the recurring fatal accident at Okolowo Junction along Jeba Road in Kwara State and other devastating trailers and petroleum tanker accidents.
It is disturbing that the frequent accidents have made our highway increasingly dangerous for motorists, pedestrians, and communities living along the routes, while also causing environmental pollution due to spills of hazardous materials.
Also, a motion on the need to deploy more security personnel and equipment to combat the rise of insecurity in Kano, local government area of Kaduna State, was moved.
Seeing a rise of insecurity in Kumana Chiefdom and Kauri Emirate, with cases of kidnappings, rustling, and human fatalities occurring almost weekly. The latest attacks in Zakada town in Makami Ward, Galadimawa in Kwasam Ward, and Gesharo Ward has left many kidnapped and killed. A quick deployment of more security personnel to the troubled areas of Kauri Emirate and Kumana Chiefdom can help forestall this menace.
Plenary resumes on Thursday.
Meanwhile, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu, has been explaining the decision to adjust the budget from 49 trillion naira to more than 53 trillion naira. He said the result of it was the result of interactions between the executive and the National Assembly. The budget minister said the interactions had established that government-owned enterprises and the Nigeria Customs Service could contribute more revenue to government. Senator Bagudu gave assurances that the medium-term expenditure framework will also be amended in line with the adjustments to the 2025 budget. He further explained that additional revenue amounting to more than 4.5 trillion naira is established and taken to the presidents, who agreed that additional revenue should be used to further strengthen the Bank of Agriculture, Bank of Industry, and support the diversification program by putting more money in the solid mineral sector as well as infrastructure projects.
You recall, Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted a 49.7 trillion naira budget to the combined National Assembly, and legislative work commenced. The legislative work continued with interactions between the executive and the National Assembly, and the National Assembly and the economic management team continue to interface and interrogate all figures. And in that process, both the Senate Committee on Appropriations, Senate Committee on National Planning, Senate Committee on Finance established that we can generate more revenue by tasking all the institutions to do more. And the Federal Inland Revenue Service confirmed their ability to do more than what was submitted. Mr. President was briefed on this additional revenue, and he consulted and he guided that this additional revenue should be used to further strengthen the Bank of Agriculture, Bank of Industry.
The Senate has officially terminated the appointments of 3 resident electoral commissioners, RECs, following a request from President Bola Tinubu, who invoked Section 157, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The affected officials are read by the Senate Majority Leader, are Dr. Noura Ali, Sokoto State Rec, Barrister Hudu Yunusa Ari, Adamawa State Regional Electoral Commissioner, and Professor Ekemefuna Chijoke Uzochukwu, Abia State Regional Electoral Commissioner. They were earlier suspended in 2023 over allegations of electoral misconduct, including violations of the Electoral Act, election compromise, and fraud and abandonment of duty. Security reports from the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu and the Department of State Services, DSS, had revealed that Dr. Noura Ali was indicted for allegedly compromising the 2023 presidential and National Assembly elections through incompetence and corruption, confessing to receiving $150,000 from politicians. Barrister Hudu Yunusa Ari, on his part, was suspended by former President Muhammadu Buhari after unlawfully declaring a governorship election result an action outside his jurisdiction. Professor Uzochukwu was, however, found guilty of mismanaging election logistics, abandoning the governorship and state assembly elections, and refusing to reschedule supplementary elections. News Hour on Trust. This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. From palm trees to prosperity, how Jigawa's debts contribute to economic and socio-economic growth. We have more news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories. Again, water shortage crisis hits Kaduna metropolis as KEDCO workers strike disrupt supply. And Rimin Zakara residents demand justice after fatal clash in Kano over land ownership. Moving on now, Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State has officially presented the staff of office to Sani Ahmadu Ribadu, the newly appointed second-class emir of Fufore. The ceremony, rich in cultural significance, marks a milestone in the state's ongoing efforts to strengthen its traditional institutions and foster unity. Gibson Swadigo has more of this report.
Dignitaries, traditional rulers and well-wishers from across the state and beyond gathered in Fufore local government area to witness the historic occasion. The event was a vibrant showcase of Adamawa's rich cultural diversity, with traditional dances and performances from various ethnic groups adding color and spectacle to the ceremony. Speaking at the event, Governor Fintiri congratulated the people of Fufore, reaffirming his administration's commitment to strengthening traditional institutions as a means of fostering peace, development and community participation in governance.
You are the first to have your emir formally installed and conferred with staff of office. I call on every subject to accord the new emir the necessary support to succeed this throne. The government has done its bit by yielding positively to your demand for the creation of this emirate. The onus is on you to build it. It is your emirate. It is what you demanded for. It is what we gave you. The extent to which it is nurtured, sustained and revered will be determined by the quantum of energy, intellect and resources you deploy to grow it. You can do it because I know you have the people with the requisite wherewithal to make it happen.
In his acceptance speech, the newly installed Emir of Fufore, Sani Ahmadu Ribadu, expressed profound gratitude to the governor for the trust placed in him. He pledged to uphold the principles of justice, inclusivity, and community service, assuring his people of fair and progressive leadership.
I pledge to be at the center of this new beginning, working wholeheartedly to realize our dream and goals for unity, happy and successful emirate. To the good, supportive and loving people of my emirate, I want to assure you that under my reign, inshallah, every community and individual will be treated equally and fairly, regardless of ethnic, class, or I will be the emir for all.
The ceremony concluded with goodwill messages from community leaders, government officials, and other stakeholders, all emphasizing the importance of traditional institutions in maintaining peace and driving development. Governor Fintry's move to establish additional emirates and districts is widely seen as a significant step in reinforcing Adamawa's cultural identity and ensuring that traditional leadership remains a pillar of governance and social cohesion in the state. Gibson Soadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Jigawa State stands out as Nigeria's land of dates, with date palm trees thriving across more than 90% of the state's landscape. This makes the state a hub for traders in dates, which has over the years contributed meaningfully to the economy of the state by boosting its internally generated revenue. Trust TV's correspondent Ali Rabi Ali now reports.
Those boast the highest concentration of date palm trees in the state, cultivating diverse varieties that reach full maturity. These varieties include short, small, and long types with varying seed sizes. The exceptional sweetness of these dates attracts traders from across Nigeria. According to Dr. Abdulhamid Hamza Muhammad, head of the Nigerian Institute of Oil Farm Research (NIFO) substation in Dutse, dates are rich in fiber and antioxidants, offering nutritional benefits that may support brain health and disease prevention.
Decided to set up this annex of the to particularly focus on the development of network, because this is basically where it is going. And alhamdulillah, fortunately, we were able to come up with a lot of things with regards to the development and the overall progress of the crop. One, a lot of varieties were identified and a lot of also hybrid species were developed. Proper agronomic practices were also developed for the successful production of the crop.
Dr. Muhammad explained that NIFO, established around 1979 to 80, is a research institution focused on date farming and its products. Its mandate includes improving crop agronomy, value addition, marketing strategies, and date farm breeding. He noted that Dutse is a primary date farm growing and harvesting region with trees originally planted by Arab traders. Dr. Muhammad highlighted that research has reduced the gestation period for date farms from 60 to 70 years to just 3 years before fruiting. He emphasized that the date business generates internally revenue for the Jigawa state government through taxes and improves the socio-economic well-being of its citizens.
Very significant importance of date farms that I can be able to say. One, it will generate a lot of income because for you to generate 3 to 4 million naira per season, in a lot of plantations that you have, is a lot of money. For you also to help in reclaiming all the areas that are being taken over by this desert encroachment and this thing. It helps in anywhere you plant the dead food, it will be able to help the land. It will reclaim the land. That is what you call land. That's why you have this sandy erosion, poly erosion. This once you plant land, they all be able to all the soil particles together.
Date farming and trade have a long and storied history, with dates being traded across the globe for centuries. Dates are known for their chewy texture and sweet flavor, as well as their high nutritional value and diverse uses. From Jigawa, Ali Rabio Ali, Trust TV News.
Still on agriculture, as the rainy season and planting season approaches, farmers in Lagos are calling on the government to take decisive action against banditry to address the growing problem of food insecurity. The farmers emphasize that without adequate security on farmlands, crop cultivation will be impossible, leading to further food shortages across the country. Victoria Tokolo's report is presented from our studio.
Rising food prices are directly linked to food shortages, which stem from low agricultural production. This is due to pervasive insecurity that left vast tracts of arable land uncultivated. Farmers in Lagos cite the threat of herdsmen and bandits as a major obstacle disrupting their ability to cultivate crops and jeopardizing their livelihoods. They urge the government to address the activities of herdsmen and bandits and deploy additional security personnel to protect farmers in the fields.
The government is already aware that, they are these security stalwarts. They are trying their best, but they need to do more. In the sense that we know where they are. Why not go and bombard them as a full force, as if we are at war? Because this is like having a civil war now. So in the process, they go and bombard the area and make sure that they sanitize them.
They know where to have a land. They have a big land. Make a farm agriculture mechanism, not a traditional way of making farm. They need to buy machinery to enable people to come in, train them, and as well at the end, they are creating employment, and by so doing, they are creating availability of food for that state.
First of all, what government should do is begin to talk about agriculture, the importance of agriculture, and why farming shouldn't be a thing of, growing up, farming used to be like for poor people. Once you say someone is a farmer, you shrug the person off as a poor person, right? But that's a misconception. So I think that first of all, our mindset about farming needs to evolve, so to speak. We should realize that farming isn't supposed to be for just a few persons. You can farm from your home, right? We have, technology right now, so you can just have small buckets by your house where you can plant stuff.
Farmers also stressed the importance of public-private partnerships to boost food production.
I verified for many villages in Edo State, especially last week, that what's the problem that makes food be like this? They said that until our government intervene and put security for the farm to make them go to farm and farm well. Especially this year, rain is going to fall now, which is our farmers supposed to go farm and produce. But for this year, here and there, they cannot go. They cannot go. I want to use this one to tell our government they cannot go, which is it will affect next year, for sure.
Government should allow private entity. There are some private entity that most of them are into agriculture now. I don't know how government will allow them to team up. Like I have a company now that they are into purely agriculture, and people are buying a lot of food stuff from them. So government needs to allow people to do their own private entity of planting, of doing agriculture.
Achieving food security and surplus requires the collective participation of all agriculture, as everyone has a role to play.
The Kebbi State Police Command has arrested 165 suspected illegal immigrants and handed them over to the Nigeria Immigration Service for further investigation and necessary action. According to a press statement made available to newsmen on Tuesday by the command's spokesman, Nafiu Abubakar, the police said the arrest followed an intelligence-led operation after security operatives uncovered the presence of more than 200 individuals living in a 3-bedroom flat in the Kuwait area of Benin Kebbi. The police command spokesman added that a team of detectives from the State Criminal Investigation Department raided the location and successfully apprehended 165 occupants. According to the statement, preliminary investigations revealed that all those arrested were from Francophone West African countries. which include Burkina Faso, 35 arrested, Benin Republic, 11, Niger Republic, 5, Mali, 4, and Cote d'Ivoire, 110. Further findings showed that none of the individuals possessed valid travel documents and were allegedly involved in QNet Ponzi scheme, a suspected fraudulent investment platform known for defrauding unsuspecting individuals. Still on the police, the Ebonyi State Police Command has arrested one of the hoodlums who masterminded the killing in Amagu village in Nkalaha community in Ishalu local government area of Ebonyi State. Items recovered from the suspect were 3 locally made single-barrel guns, 1 police uniform, a pair of jungle boots, a pair of camouflage shorts, and combat trousers. The attack, which happened around 8 in the morning on Sunday, left about 15 persons dead and property worth millions of naira destroyed. The development is contained in a statement issued on Wednesday by the State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Joshua Okandu and made available to journalists in Abakaliki, the Ebonyi State capital. The statement further indicted one Madubuchi Chimaobi Ibe, a male and indigenous of the area, among the actors who carried out the killings. Madubuchi Chimaobi Ibe was apprehended by the command tactical team dispatched by the State Commissioner of Police Adaku Uche Anya to fish out the hoodlums. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has predicted that 8 northern states will experience delayed onset of rainfall in 2025. The prediction is contained in NIMET's 2025 seasonal climate prediction, unveiled by the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, in Abuja. A statement issued by NIMET listed the affected states as Plateau, Kaduna, Niger, Benue, Nasarawa, Taraba, Adamawa, and Kwara states. The SCP theme termed the role of early warnings towards climate-resilient aviation industry for sustainable socio-economic development also outlined key rainfall predictions for 2025. NIMET predicted an early onset of rainfall in Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, Anambra, and parts of Oyo, Ogun, Osun, Ondo, Lagos, Edo, Enugu, Imo, and Ebonyi states. According to NIMET, the length of the rainy season in 2025 is expected to be mostly normal across the country.
Earlier than long-term average end of rainy season is predicted over parts of Zamfara, Katsina, Kano, Kaduna, Jigawa, Plateau, Bauchi, Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Taraba, Niger, Kwara, Kogi, FCT, Ekiti, and Ondo states. A delayed end of season is expected over parts of Kaduna, Nasarawa, Benue, Lagos, Kwara, Taraba, Oyo, Ogun, Cross River, Delta, Akwa Ibom, Ebonyi, Anambra, and Enugu states. A normal to below normal annual rainfall is anticipated in most parts of Nigeria compared to the long-term average. Parts of Kebbi, Kaduna, Ebonyi, Cross River, Lagos, Abia, Akwa Ibom states, and the FCT are expected to have above normal annual rainfall amounts.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. We'll be back shortly. Don't go away. Welcome back. Let's join Yusuf Agugu for the stock market update.
Welcome to Stock Market Update. I am Yusuf Akogo. Bullish sentiment dominated the local bourse on Wednesday as the all-share index extended gains from previous session by over 500 basis points. The all share index there climbed up by 0.51%. Volume of trade over 1 billion shares were traded, value at 28.4 billion naira in a list of 14,854 lead exchanges among investors. Of course, the Guineas from today's trading, we have Guineas. Guineas gained 10% to close at 88 kobo per share. Internal oil also recorded 9.96% gain to close at 30 naira and 35 kobo per share. Capital Nigeria PLC also up 9.95% to close at 24 naira and 30 kobo per share. Of course, we have some equities that recorded losses. Leading the losers today is May and Baker. May and Baker are down 9.88% to close at 7 naira and 75 kobo per share. Academy Press also down 9.33% to close at 2 naira and 72 kobo per share. Thomas Watt also ended on the losing side of the market, 9.31% to close at 1 naira and 85 kobo per share. The top trading equities by volume, we have Access Corporation lead the table there, 473 million volume of shares. It did traded. FBN talking about First Bank, a holding company there, traded 98.9 million shares. USCN also traded 46.4 million volume of shares at the close of business today. And that's the highlight of Nigerian stock market. Let's see the global stock market for today. And that's stock market update. I am Yusuf Akogun.
President Bola Tinubu has departed Abuja for Paris, France. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, disclosed these in a statement on Wednesday. Onanuga states that the president's trip to the European country is for a private purpose, adding that the visit is en route to Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian capital. In Addis Ababa, Onanuga said President Tinubu will join African leaders at the 46th Ordinary Session of the Executive Council and the 38th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of the African Union Heads of State, scheduled for February 12th to the 16th, 2025. While in France, President Tinubu will meet with his French counterpart, President Emmanuel Macron. The presidential spokesman stated that President Tinubu will arrive in Addis Ababa early next week for the African Union Summit. In other foreign stories, Red Cross workers in Goma continued mass burials a week after Rwanda-backed M23 rebels seized control of the city. The Congolese Interior Minister, Joachim Shabani, stated that 2,000 bodies had been buried, while the WHO revised the official death toll to at least 900, excluding those still in morgues. Families of the victims expressed deep grief and urged authorities to restore peace. The M23 rebel group, backed by an estimated 4,000 Rwandan troops, has intensified its grip on eastern Congo, a region rich in minerals essential for global technology. The latest escalation has displaced hundreds of thousands, with many fleeing into Rwanda. Last week, M23 announced plans to establish an administration in Goma, urging residents to resume normal life. We now go to sports news with Emmanuel Fashimi.
The 2025 All-African Senior Badminton Championship in Douala, Cameroon is few days to commencement as the Director General of the National Sports Commission, NSA, Honorable Bukola Olopade, has reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to supporting Nigerian sports federations, including badminton, as they strive for excellence. Speaking ahead of Team Nigeria's departure for the championship, Olopade emphasized the growing importance of badminton in the Nigerian sporting landscape, commending the leadership of Francis Obi, President of the Badminton Federation of Nigeria, for elevating the sports profile. The Nigerian badminton team, comprising 10 players, 5 male and 5 female, will compete in men's singles, women's singles, men's doubles, women's doubles, and mixed doubles categories. Among the team is Nigerian #1 player Anolu Akpokpayore, who is determined to defend his singles title after his gold-winning performance in 2024. During a visit to the team's camp in Abuja on Wednesday to bid them farewell, Honorable Olopade assured the athletes of the Commission's full support, urging them to give their best effort. Also, the Badminton Federation President Francis Obi expressed confidence in the team, highlighting their readiness for the championships. The 2025 edition is bid for 10th to 16th February 2025 in Douala, Cameroon. The Confederation of African Football CAF has finalized plans to conduct the playoff draw for the 2025 edition of the Championship of African Nations (CHAN). The draw follows the decision of several countries that had initially withdrawn from the competition but later reversed their stance and opted to rejoin the tournament. The countries involved in this change include Algeria, Egypt, Gambia, South Africa, Comoros, Gabon, and Malawi. CAF announced that the draw will take place next week, with only 2 of these 7 nations securing a spot in the competition. The 2024 CHAN will be held in August 2025 across Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashini.
And that concludes this Wednesday's edition of News Hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. Thank you for watching. I'm Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Good night.